Hey, and welcome back to the Tower Journey. Here with a weekly update, but it's actually like not weekly, it's bi-weekly today. That's all right. We're going to jump into it and go over some of the things that I've done in the last couple of weeks here. I have seen some incredibly large coin bonuses on my milestones. So I've hit 7.44 T coins, and you can see here in tiers 6, 7, and 8, I've hit new records, peaking over 266 billion coins on a tier 7 run. That was a really awesome run where I got Death Wave and have been doing well with that. So I'm going to jump into today's video as to how I've been increasing my coins so significantly over this last 2 weeks. But let's first jump into our tournament results. My last video, I was saying I was hoping to stay in Champions League now that I have Smart Missiles and some other little upgrades to my tower. Unfortunately, I got knocked out of Champions League that week. It was a really tough bracket. I made it further than I had any other time, but I was still knocked out of the top 24 positions. So dropped back down to Platinum League, took second in that, which was fine, and went back up into Champions League, where this last tournament I was able to finish rank 18th, staying in Champions League for the first time, getting 90 stones, 200 gems, and being able to retain my Champion League status, moving into the tournament that starts tonight. So hopefully I'm able to do that again, stay in it, and continue in Champions League, earning these 90 stones twice a week, which would be awesome in terms of getting my stone count up. So you can see now I'm sitting at just shy of 500 stones and 750 gems. And I'm just saving up my gems because the next event is going to start on Monday. Today's Friday. And we now know that every event is going to have the the 80 cards event mission until your cards are complete. And so I'm just going to save up the 1,600 gems that I'm going to need to be able to purchase those cards immediately, get the event points that will then help me kind of move on and get whatever relics, gems, or relics and themes exist. So let's look at the event here. Under the Gravity event, I've claimed both the 3-body solution and the falling apples. This gives us a 2% supercritical chance, which is excellent, and a defense upgrade maximizes it up to the 50% that it's allowed to be, plus your cards and perks on top of that. Just have a couple things left to do here. I need to get another really good long Death Wave run in to probably close that off, maybe 2 more attempts with the Death Wave. So that's just going to be luck of the draw, as I have 3 ultimate weapons left, and so unlocking the random ultimate weapon sometimes allows me to pull Death Wave, which gets me that those enemy hits. Death Defy, this is just a time 1, and I'll do it probably Sunday afternoon and just go through and hit a bunch of tier 15 runs until I get my Death Defy. And then the login and the free rewards, that's just, it is what it is. Nothing surprising there. Nothing else has changed here. I've got my themes, haven't done anything with Golden Bot. I'm saving up my medals because I'm guessing that next week we'll get a couple of relics in our new event, and so I'm just holding on to up to 1,000 medals or so to be able to get the relics and the themes as soon as it comes out on Monday evening or afternoon or whatever time it is for you. So moving on, another thing that I switched up this week is I did change out a ban perk, and I switched out the, which one was it? The enemies have 55% health, but tower health regen and lifesteal is down 90%. So I took that out while I'm doing runs during the day. I did find that my night runs aren't quite as effective with that perk being banned, because what I did was I actually took out the perk where it increases, it's a 8.8 increase to tower health regen, but max health down negative 60%. And I'll go into why I switched those out. But during my day runs, I keep this 8.8 in the perks, and I'm going to start switching, banning it for the night runs. And I'll show you why right now. And essentially, that is because I have become someone who loves the wall. I've hit a stage in the game where I'm able to really begin to use the wall in a more effective, and it's been a significant boost for me on these last couple, a week and a bit. which has been exciting. So I really haven't done much in terms of the wall here in the workshop. But what I have done is I've increased my health regen to happen faster. And then the other big increases that I've seen are under my modules this week. So I had a comment on one of my last videos about, hey, why haven't you re-rolled your module substats in a while? And the reality is I'm just not super familiar with module substats. So I took some time and I dug into it and I began to play with my modules a little bit more. So I'm still running a Galaxy compressor, but I re-rolled these all to legendary. So I get the plus 5% recovery amount times 0.7 max recovery and enemy level skips. I would love to get the package chance because that really helps with the unique effect, but it is what it is at this point. I am going to upgrade this right now a couple of times, get me up to level 77 with a 1.186 coin bonus. I also run the Multiverse Nexus, and I also rerolled this, got 50 times chain lightning damage and plus 6 on the spotlight angle with a 6-meter black hole size. Coming into my to this one, I actually switched this to be the anti-cube portal. I rolled to get the 5% defense, 4% thorn damage, and 100% health regen. This has been huge. I used to have the absolute damage there, but I've switched out to health regen, and it is going great. Enemies take 15 times damage for 7 seconds after they're hit by a shockwave, and this is really helpful for the way that my tower is currently set up. And then I did switch in death penalty, and I know there's going to be some people that are like, "Hey, don't use death penalty on your coin runs. It's a terrible module because it kills the enemies before it gets into black hole or into spotlight or whatever it is." And I understand that at this point. I just don't have another great weapon to be using, and so I'm going to use this in the meantime as I save up other modules, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of have a secondary weapon module that I can switch out during coin runs versus tournament runs or milestone runs, but it is what it is. I have the multi-shot chance, critical factor, and super crit mult. The multi-shot chance is really not a super useful one, but I wasn't too interested in spending too many more reroll gems at this point. Again, I'll probably look into it in the coming weeks. So with this, what I've done is I've also done a ton on my labs that have helped my wall become very effective. And because my wall's been more effective, my runs have gone longer and I've earned way more coins. So for example, my latest tier 7 run where I hit the 266 billion coins, my wall broke for the first time. I'll just go here and we'll find out. My wall broke for the first time at wave 6,115 or something like that. And so the wall broke, and then just a few waves later, my tower was finished. But my wall lasted for 6,000 rounds on tier 7, which is huge because my previous best on tier 7 was just above 5,000. And so I'm really contributing this to the labs I've been doing on my wall. I have brought my wall health up to level 22, which gives me an additional 42% health bonus on my wall to start. So now when my wall health is maxed, it's like 250% of my health, which is also maxed. I haven't touched wall rebuild yet. That will come. I will get into that. But at this point, because I'm doing the longevity, I'm more interested in how strong my wall can be for the longest period of time, and then I'll start to focus some money into the wall rebuild. I've also gotten 6 levels. I'm almost complete level 7 of the health of the wall regen. This has been huge, as with the way that my regen has been working with the right trade-off perks and with the 100% up or multiplier on the modules, I'm able to regen at 4 trillion health points per second. So my goal is to bring this wall regen up to 100% because that just absorbs so much damage as it constantly rebuilds the wall regularly. That's been huge, allowing me to take successive hits from enemies while my wall thorns and bullets begin to slowly take them out. Because of that, I've also been working on my wall thorns to get this up a little bit more each kind of regularly. This is kind of just on repeat in my labs. And the reason for that is so that while the enemies sit against the wall, and the regen is healing itself, the wall thorns are actually minimizing the enemies directly against my wall, getting rid of the shatters, getting rid of the basics and the tanks, and doing so in a little bit of a slower way. So what I'm finding is the black hole usually pulls them off because of a shockwave. Then the enemies get a 15 times damage bonus because of the module I'm running. And all of a sudden I'm able to see a lot more enemies die in the black hole because their health is being diminished against the wall and then decimated in the black hole. That's been a really huge victory in terms of the longevities of my runs. We'll also look here. I have not done wall invincibility yet. That makes your wall invincible for a second after it rebuilds. And then the other thing I have done though is I got one level of wall fortification. This allows my wall to regen above the health that it has. So it gives me an additional 20% on top of the 250-ish percent that my wall already has of my tower's health. So wall fortification is a fantastic lab to be able to add in to get that longevity of tower wall health. Those have been my main focuses this last couple of weeks. You can see here, wall health, some missile stuff, some recovery stuff, golden tower bonus is up. And then you see health regen. I put a few levels into that just to help with that as well. And moving down, you can see my wall fortification, wall thorns, wall health. It's just so much of it was focused on the wall over the last 2 weeks. And it has been such a huge increase to my coins and to the longevity that I have in runs. Now, because it is expensive, it means that the majority of my coins are going to my lab right now and not actually to my tower or to the workshop, and that's okay. I'm not disappointed about that because I am seeing the value of it, and I know long term I can always put money into the workshop, but these labs are going to really help me increase how much I'm gaining at this point. So those have been kind of how I've been running. I've been running tier 7 or tier 8 runs during the day and then a tier 6 run at night. And I'm usually able to collect north of 150 billion coins on each of those averaged out. So about 300 billion a day is what I'm bringing in coins. And that's been able to fund most of my research for the wall at this point. And now that this is done, we will go in and we will make sure that everything is times 2. I might even have enough to times 3 one of them, so we will see that. I will not. I'll be just shy of it. You need 20,100 and I have 18,753. That's all right. Tomorrow. So there we go. Times 2 on everything here. Just continuing to run times 2. I am close to getting the cell enhancements. And I know that my next ultimate weapon is going to be Deathwave, and because of that, I'll eventually get the cell bonuses from Deathwave, but we're still a few weeks out in that. I need another 13 or 1,200 gems, or stones at this point, to make that happen. So I think other than that, that's kind of been the bulk of what's caused this last week to be a huge gain for me. Increasing my module substats, thanks for the comments to encourage me to look into that, and also focusing so much into the wall and allowing my wall to be my main line of defense right now. As I begin to continue to build that out, I'm going to slowly start implementing other areas of the lab researches into my lab. So I used to run 3 sections here that were for ultimate weapons. Now I'm just down to 1, which is the Golden Tower bonus. This takes a long time. This level 23 into 24 is a 20-day lab. And I know the next one after that's even longer. But it's just going to be done, and then I'll never need to do it again, and that's exciting. So I'm just going to keep it where it is. I'm running a few of these under the wall right now. And then this enemy health level skip, that one will kind of rotate out depending on how many coins I have and how much time I have before I need to purchase the next lab of the wall thorns, wall regen, and wall health, making sure I always have enough coins for those. And then I'm slowly focusing on some of the other smaller labs in between, like the health regen, attack speed, and things like that, or the one-offs of the enemy health level skips that I think will just have value in the tournaments and in the early parts of later tiers. So that's kind of the game plan at this point. I'm going to just continue to do some long runs on tier 7, 8, and go from there. And then I would like to at some point do some milestone attempts on T12 and T13 and see if I can't get to wave 70 on tier 15, because that would gain me 30 stones, which would be awesome. So hopefully your tower is exploding and doing well. We always find in this game that there are little plateaued areas, and then you find a new tactic to use, and my tactic this week has mainly revolved around the wall. It's been a huge bonus, and I'm going to play into that until it begins to plateau, and then I'll find the next thing that really amplifies my tower. Thanks so much for following this journey with me, and we'll see you in the next video.